So, dear citizens of Ukraine, religious people, children, and families, mayors, and the Ukrainian president, take this and use it as your own. You're in the same situation as others before you in some of the greater trials of past human history. Your stand is an example about goodness versus evil and the value, the true and meaningful value that freedom holds versus tyranny and the want to control lives, and how people live their lives or what authority they would be subject to for themselves. God supports Ukrainians because He is in support of peace and freedom and choices concerning moving toward a destiny meant for people's own betterment and decent way of living. Ukraine is of peace, of neighborliness among themselves, especially during this momentous time, and of standing in the light before God above versus their enemies of darkness and tyranny here on earth during this so great very trial. God bless the decent people of Ukraine, and may He support them in their cause here on earth. Amen. And now I leave you with a far greater orator than myself, a great communicator, and one of our very best presidents in American history, our president from the 1980s, Ronald Reagan. If you hear this as a Ukrainian, take this message with you as it holds meaning to you as well. You deserve to hear all of this messaging that is not only applicable within my own American history. God bless you, Ukraine.
Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement, and this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.